I think you have to be a certain level of I know better than you delulu to be a mother. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Devin Harrington, the average Gen Xer. Welcome back to my channel, where today we're taking a look at some posts written by women who have lost friends to motherhood. And this is a little bit of a tricky subject. I think most, if not all, child free people have friends who either changed their minds and decided to have families, or you grew up and they went on their way and got married and had kids, and you kind of have to say goodbye to them, at least for a while, because they will be busy with their kids, as they should be. But it is tough when, especially when it's someone that you've grown up with, and then they're just gone and you don't get to have laughs with them anymore. But I do have friends that I've known since I was a little kid, and they got married and had kids, and they just went away for a while. I would get a Christmas card with the picture of the kids every year. And now the kids are off in college. And so all of a sudden, they're empty nesters. And now I talk to her much more often. And so, your real friends will come back, but it is tough when that fork in the road comes and some people decide to stay child free and more people decide to try having kids. So let's check out what these Redditors have to say about it. But first, on every video on this channel, I take a second to encourage, beg, and plead with all animal lovers out there. Please consider fostering or volunteering on site for your local animal shelter or rescue. This is little Ella, and she's been with me for a couple weeks, and she's coming along. She doesn't like being picked up, but she lets me do it. And she's relaxed a little bit, and she loves to fetch, so she's been doing that. And she's even started playing a little bit with my dogs. So she's coming out of her shell. If you don't know, this particular little pup, she is probably about 4 years old. She's had a number of litters. She came from a hoarding case with about 50 dogs in one house, probably a puppy mill of some kind. Anyway, so now she's starting a new life, but she needs to learn how to trust and have some confidence again. You're such a good girl, huh? Anyway, if you love animals, please consider checking out the website of your local animal rescue or shelter. See how easy it is to get involved. You can do your little part to help save the world. Do it for the animals. Thanks. Okay, first post is from the Child Free sub, and it's by user Your Mama. Losing an entire friendship group to motherhood. And this is a rant. This is a long and unfiltered one. I just need to get this off my chest, and I have nowhere else to do it. I couldn't decide between the rant and the support flare, but here we go. My partner is a 31-year-old male. I, 29-year-old female, both openly child-free, have been close to a large friendship group of couples for about 10 years. Until mid-late 2025, we'd spend every weekend together, message all the time, and the girls in this group would be the ones I'd call on my way home from work just to chat. And then about 3 years ago, one girl had a kid. I was supportive, and we still hung out as much as we did before, but with a kid in tow. That makes me think of that scene in Sex and the City, where is it Miranda has a baby and they go to brunch and she's got the baby in the carrier and she's like, just think of this as a big purse. It's this, like she's saying, we're all the same. This is just a big purse. And then someone's like, I think your purse just threw up. Yeah. There is that old saying, you can't go home again. And that applies in any case. You cannot be the person you were before you had the kid. You are a different person now. Then another friend had a kid, and another. And then the first one had a second kid, and the third had a second. Next minute, there are more kids than adults in our group. Now, while I have been openly child-free the whole time we've known each other, I've never said I hate their children. However, I have always struggled being around kids, and I haven't hidden that. If they are completely overwhelming me, I will go and hang out with the boys to catch a break. Yes. Now, look at what she just said. This is 2026. And I don't know for sure if she means this, but it sounds like, she goes and hangs out with all the husbands because they're not watching kids. So crazy. That's another thing. Women seem to be completely surprised that they are the default parent, and that most men think that they're just babysitting their own children when they are in charge of them. She goes on, their children are loud, very dirty. Oh, gross. I'm talking thick snot in an endless stream from their nose to their mouths constantly, and never wiped because, they're kids. And have generously shared their gastro and other illnesses with me and my partner several times. On top of this, every conversation with my mother's friends turned to pregnancy, babies, milestones, shit, vomit, childcare. I just sit there nodding along, zoning out. Yeah. I mean, it's okay to be the odd man out and to not have anything to contribute to the conversation. If everyone's talking about their kids, it's fine. No one is expecting the entire rest of the world to play along with how they live. But it just is a heavy thing to carry I really did feel that way when my friend that I'm thinking of, we met when we were 9 years old. We rode at the horse barn together, and she went off to college, and I went off to be a drug addict, and the years went by, and then she sent me a wedding invitation, and it was, big fancy Italian full-on Catholic mass wedding invitation. And I was shocked because my dumb, naive ass just assumed that everyone wanted to be like me and wanted to get the hell out of their hometown and go do something interesting. And this friend of mine was doing the traditional thing. She went to school within driving distance of home, and then she married a guy from home, and they bought a house, and they had 2 kids, and the kids are in college now, and they just did all the things. And it's heavy to carry that when you realize that the vast majority of people are going to have kids. That's why it's laughable. This whole birth rate is plummeting, the plummeting birth rate. There's always going to be plenty of people who want to have kids. She goes on, when I flagged to a friend, I felt a bit left out. I was met with, well, when you become a mom, it's all you can think about, and no attempt to include me. Well, that's fine. I mean, they're new moms. That's all they want to talk about. That's to be expected. Every catch-up I tried to organize was also now too hard with kids. God forbid a husband babysits for one night, or too expensive. Meanwhile, my partner and the fathers could pretend their kids didn't exist while leaving for 4-day fishing trips, working on their cars, talking about their hobbies, etc. Yeah, it's crazy that, it's obviously a vast, broad generalization, but here we are, and it might as well be the 1950s. All the women in the kitchen nibbling and talking and taking care of the kids, and all the men doing man things. It's just kind of sad. I know who I'd rather be hanging out with. Because I loved my friends, I still caught up with them all the time in kid-centric spaces. We went to birthday parties. We bought them gifts. However, I really missed real adult time. I wanted a conversation that wasn't interrupted every 5 minutes. I wanted to chat about life without my friend having one ear focused on her kid. A turning point came in September last year when I invited a friend out for a drink. She said, sure, I'll just pick up my kid from my parents. I kindly suggested, seeing as they're already there, can we just grab a drink together without the kids? Well, let's just say that plan was canceled. Wow, that's intense. And since then, my partner and I have since been excluded from every event. I'm talking adult birthdays, everything. They wouldn't even come to my partner's birthday, making up excuses to us, but telling other people they weren't coming because I hate children, while they organized their own little catch-up without us on the same day. Yeah, that's sad. Around the same time, someone I would have considered my best friend from this group cracked it at me out of nowhere because she said maybe to a sporting event I didn't buy her a ticket and asked some other people if they wanted to come. Her maybe has historically been a no since she has a kid. And when I realized she was upset, I bought her a ticket immediately, only to be told I was going to say no anyway. Writing this out makes me wonder why the fuck I was even friends with these people. Well, that's how it is. You grow up and you grow apart, and that's okay. That's life. That's why you should never, ever, 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 ever get married and settle down and have children before the age of 30. Just trust me on that. I want to reiterate, I never said I hate their children. These are words that they've put in my mouth and said to my face. That's right, you hate children. Yeah, well, I mean, most child-centric people think that child-free people hate children, and that's not the case. Just because you don't want to have kids of your own doesn't mean that you don't like kids. There are plenty of people who have kid jobs as teachers or daycare workers, and they love children and they love working with them, but they don't want to have their own. And that's fine. I wouldn't say I love kids. I don't want to work with kids. I'm not crazy about kids, but I do like to hang out with kids for like 30 minutes and play with them because kids always react to me like I'm a big kid because I kind of am. I let it slide, thinking it was more of a joke, but probably should have corrected more sternly. When we were together, I'd also have an eye on their kids to make sure they were safe. And every time I alerted the parent to their kid doing something unsafe, I was mocked for being so maternal. Jesus Christ. Fast forward to today, all the mothers catch up regularly. I'm never invited to anything. That's really sad. Not that I even want to be around these people anymore. Yeah. I mean, what's the point if you don't have anything to contribute to the conversation because it's just all children? I do a lot with my life because I have adult money now and a lot of freedom. Seeing their boring life actually gives me more motivation to do more with mine. I see them view everything I post about my life online and proceed to ignore it while supporting other people they barely know. It was absolutely awful at first, and I'm obviously still cut up about it, but I have a large pool of friends without kids that I've worked on reconnecting with. After wasting 10 years of my life focusing on a friendship group that clearly don't give a shit about me based on the way I was tossed to the side so easily, I'm slowly getting happier. I wouldn't say it was a waste. I don't think any relationship is a waste, whether it's an intimate relationship or anything. You got to learn from everything. And I'm sure, when they didn't have kids, it was all good and people grow up and they change their opinions about things. And that's just life, honey. Grand Efficiency commented, they don't sound like great friends, honestly. It might have hurt at the time, but good for you for cutting off the dead weight. Friends should care about their friends' feelings. Numismatical, at a minimum, your lives diverged when your friends decided to have kids. Sounds like you spent lots of time and energy accommodating them and got nothing in return. You're completely justified in moving on and hanging out with others. Based on everything you've said, you've done nothing wrong. Bella Ryder, yeah, don't have friends like that. They weren't your friends to begin with. Me's forever. Same happening in my circle. It takes them days or even weeks to text me back or return my call, but they always have time to send stupid baby photos. Yeah, that's true. Edit, motherhood or the desire for motherhood has also brought out the worst in my friends. Things I never would have expected after knowing them for 20 plus years. One of them turned out to be a boy mom, suddenly dropping misogynistic comments. Another has made borderline racist comments. I hope A's baby has blue eyes like her. And when I told her, I don't think that's racist. Do you? That's not fucking racist. I mean, assuming this is an interracial relationship and she wants the baby to have blue eyes like one of the parents, I don't see that. That's not racist. There's no malice in that statement. I think people just want to be offended by everything. When I told her it's more likely that the baby will have brown eyes, she was like, "Oh no, that would be such a shame." What the fuck? And I know someone will comment and say they've probably always been like that, and I just never noticed. But I swear to God, they never, ever made any sort of comments like this in the 20 plus years I've known them before, this whole motherhood baby stuff. I've stopped initiating any kind of contact, and it feels lonely, but in the end, I know it's for the better. Okay, next post also from the child free sub, and this is by user B. Karuni. Lost another friend to children, and this is a rant. Today, one of my good friends told me she had a baby. She didn't even tell me she was pregnant, which hurt. But she's always been a private person, and I haven't seen her in over a year due to busy schedules, but we talk almost every day. They talk almost every day, and she didn't even tell you she was pregnant? She is, or I guess was, the most child free person I knew other than myself. She seems happy, so I'm happy for her, but I'm honestly getting tired of my child free friends switching up and having babies. Is anyone else experiencing this as they go through their late 20s? Lobster Life 6 said many people aren't child free. They're trying to have kids while pretending it's not important to them, or if they do or not. Yeah, so they're just not talking about how they're trying. I mean, it's perfectly fine to be child free and then at some point change your mind, as long as you educate yourself so there are no surprises. Savage JJ, I lost my bestie for life to this. She didn't think it as giving enough time and energy into what? She didn't think I was giving enough time and energy to her pregnancy, so she cut me loose. But she knew I didn't really like all the kid stuff, so why expect it of me? Because that's another thing that women are lied to about. You're just, it seems like women are given the impression that getting pregnant suddenly makes you the Virgin Mary of a sort, like you're suddenly just all goodness and light, and a new life is growing and it's so beautiful. And so women who get pregnant sometimes behave like this, like everything has to be about them because they're pregnant. Lobster Life 6 said, "That's so shit. I'm sorry this happened to you. Someone expecting child free friends to center their life around their decision to have a kid is fucking mental. Wait till the kid comes out and doesn't give a fuck about the mom's well being for 18 plus years." Where's the lie? Ice cream for deadlifts. Yep, I lost mine 4 years ago. I had to unfollow her on social media. Shit sucks. Yeah, I've had to unfollow people when they had babies because it was just one kid picture after another. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that see like all my stupid pictures of me with my horse on social media, one after the other after the other. And it's basically always the same picture, just me standing there with him. I'm sure there are plenty of people who think, why does she keep posting this crap? So, fair play. But yeah, if you're a child free person, that's another sticky thing is, I am one of those child free people. I see a baby and I think, yes, baby, take care of the baby. Don't let anything happen to the baby. But I don't get all goofy like I do over baby animals. So, someone who deleted their account said she wasn't your bestie for life. She was the person you thought was your bestie for life. Aw. Competitive Eggs 6354 said, "It's like a chain reaction. One person sets it off and the others follow." Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I mean, that's certainly been studied, I imagine. Friend groups of women, friend groups of women all start to sync up with their cycle. That's proven. Women who live together, etc. And I'm sure that the same goes for friend groups of women where one gets pregnant. It's I don't know. It's like I wouldn't be drawn into it, but it does seem to be that way. Okay, and finally, also from the child free sub, and this is by Mellow 1182, friends with kids can be exhausting. A dear friend of mine recently had a kid. The first months have been rough for her and me, and the other friends of the group have been as supportive as we could. Things have started to get better recently, and she was finally able to go out a bit more and relax with her friends alone. We went out for a girls' night out and had a great time until she decided it was the right occasion to start pestering me about having a child, too. Oh, dear. I am child free and always been adamant about it. I'm not even ruling out that I might change my mind in the future and that I'd be happy to adopt if it was the case and I couldn't have kids by the time I actually wanted to, if it ever happened. She didn't react rudely, but she kept insisting that my reasons weren't valid. Wow. It's so bizarre because, like, who cares if someone else has kids? But when you're in a friend group, everybody, it's our nature to want to be with the group because there's safety in the group. And so when one has a kid, I mean, they're women, right? Aren't they supposed to want babies? What's the matter with you that you don't want a baby? I do have a problem with the lack of acceptance of where I stand. I don't know what to say to her because we're close and she's usually smart, open minded, and understanding. But on the specific topic of motherhood, she is absolutely convinced she knows better. Every possible rational and irrational motive I dished her were dismissed. Yes, well, is the baby brand new? I don't know, but don't women get this weird cocktail going around in their brain of hormones after, postpartum that makes you want to bond with the baby and care for the baby and all of that shit? Kind of like makes you stupid, like being dickmatized. That's kind of like my favorite new word. I really like that word. I'm financially comfortable in a long-term relationship. I have stability. I just don't want a kid in my life. My heart goes out to all the people that wish for a child and don't succeed, but it's not my responsibility to twist my life around because of that. Amen, sister. Sorry for the rant. I just wished everyone could understand that not wanting the same thing is okay. Yes. Yeah, but that sounds like a friendship that's headed for the split because it's kind of the same when I get a new foster puppy. That's all I talk about is the puppy, and they do such cute things and pictures of the puppy and blah blah blah. I totally get it. And when you actually give birth to the puppy, or baby in this case, I'm sure it's all you can talk about because it's such a life-changing experience. And if it worked out well for this woman, then good for her. But the way she's trying to tell her child-free friend that, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know your own mind. I mean, that's, like I always say, 20th century nonsense that needs to go the way of the dinosaurs. We don't need that anymore. Women do know what they want. They absolutely do. Fitpool8203 commented, the first months have been rough for her. This says it all, OP. It's a classic case of misery loves company. She's having a rough time being a parent. She sees you living the life she misses, and she wants to wish the same type of misery upon you, so no one around her has what she lost. That is a brilliant way to put it. Absolutely. The OP responded, I hope it's not the case. She's been miserable, but she's genuinely happy of being a mother. She's always wanted to be a mother. I want to believe she had good intentions. Liz4 said, people who invalidate what you want out of life because it doesn't align with their own choices are not friends. I bet if you dig into why she feels your reasons aren't valid, you'll find something self-serving on her part. That's a great question. Why does she feel the OP's reasons aren't valid? Like there can't be a valid reason not to want to have children? Cherry Darling, I think you have to be a certain level of I know better than you delulu to be a mother. They will find out, of course, that they in fact didn't know better. But without that, who the hell would be having children? So God bless them. We need the future workers to wipe our asses in the fancy retirement home. Oh my God. I was thinking about the retirement what is the retirement homes going to look like in 30 years or whatever, when Gen X is the main group in retirement homes with tattoos and piercings and all of that shit. That's going to be pretty crazy. The OP responded, haha, this made me laugh. Her kid will sustain my retirement one day. Mop My Masubi responded, I'd have responded, no, I don't want any kids. You are my friend, and you should have understood that a long time ago. If they try to guilt me into kids, I guilt them back. And why can't they understand something so simple? And then I drop them. Honestly, they're a waste of my time if they just want to hear themselves talk, visit versus us engaged in a conversation. Ooh, that's a good comment. And that's what I have for you today, guys. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you lost friends to motherhood before? Or are you someone who became a mom and kind of lost track of your friends? Let me know what you think. This is definitely something that is a fairly new phenomenon since the child-free movement has really grown and gone mainstream. So I would love to know what you think. But in any case, thank you so much for stopping by to hear me talk shit on the internet. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.